I watched Hilda and I really enjoyed it. It's a British-Canadian cartoon on Netflix that is created by British cartoonist and former Adventure Time storyboard artist Luke Pearson. Hilda is about the little girl title character who used to live in the wilderness of magical creatures, who soon moves to a big gated city. The creatures Hilda ran into in the wilderness included invisible tiny people, trolls, small elves, Nittens, and a character named the Woodman. I love this guy.
This just comes in without knocking. It's rude.
It's okay.
Hilda loves living in the wilderness, but her mother wants to move to a city called Trollberg. Hilda disagrees, however, since she loves her life in the wilderness. In the second episode, she negotiates with tiny elves so she can keep her home. The negotiation goes well, but after two giants she reunited together accidentally destroy her and her mother's home, the two end up moving to Trollberg. While on her trip, Hilda brings along her tiny elf friend Alfred, since he wants to send his research on humans to the other elves. Also with her is her pet deer fox Twig. The show is a fish out of water story of sorts, since Hilda spent her early childhood in the wilderness, and all her friends prior to moving to the town were magical creatures. However, Hilda manages to make human friends who are two kids named Frida and David. The three kids are a part of a group called the Sparrow Scouts and are classmates as well. The show takes place in a world where humans are aware of fantasy creatures. For example, Trollberg has a giant wall in place to keep trolls out. The show is heavily inspired by folklore. In the show, Hilda and her friends accidentally dig up onion nature spirits called Vitra. In another episode, Hilda manages to capture a spirit called Amara, who was giving David nightmares. Both these types of creatures are from German and Scandinavian folklore, respectively. Now I want to talk about one of my favorite characters in the show, that being the librarian. In a few episodes, Hilda and her friends go to the library, searching for information on whatever mystical creatures they run into. The librarian then suggests them to read a certain book. The librarian is very cute. I'd let her recommend me some books if you catch my drift.
Simp!
Guys, shut up. I am not a simp. Anyway, in all seriousness, the librarian is an interesting side character. She's a witch and she has her own hidden library full of mystical books. She also plays the role of a mentor to Hilda in the art of witchcraft. The librarian plays a small role in the show so far, as season 1 is concerned, but I hope she gets more screen time in season 2. I am not a simp. Another great female character is Hilda's mom, Johanna. I really liked how she cares about her daughter. While she isn't keen on all the supernatural stuff that's going on, she eventually helps Hilda with whatever mystical shenanigans happen in each episode. The main theme of Hilda is that these creatures she runs into are misunderstood. What may look like a violent savage troll ends up being a mother looking for her troll baby. People around Hilda, her mother included, are scared of these creatures, while the little girl sees who they truly are. Overall, Hilda's a show I highly recommend, and it was popular enough to get a second season, which is coming out later this year. The show is also based on a series of comics, so if you binge the show and want more Hilda content, you can read the original source material. Overall, Hilda is a great female-led cartoon that you definitely should watch.